he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw,
me like sparring.
Yeah.
When I watched it, which, you know, look, I paid for it. They got me. I thought it was going to be a real fight.
You know, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel?
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night. 2 for 1.
Joe Rogan reacts with visible shock as Anthony Joshua reveals that Jake Paul pushed for a scripted bout. Joshua says he agreed only on the condition that the fight be real risk, real consequences. Rogan points out that many of Paul's previous wins have drawn accusations of choreography and overly compliant opponents. Critics argue those victories inflated records and rankings, fueling title talk without true elite competition. The result has been lingering questions about legitimacy, intent, and where spectacle ends and sport begins, debates that continue to ripple through boxing and broader sports circles.
Yeah.
You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't, yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're
Joe Rogan said the fight looked more like a controlled sparring session than an all-out war. While there were moments of tension, he noted that it never reached a point where serious damage felt imminent. Rogan added that boxing can turn ugly very fast, and from that perspective, both fighters walking away without major injuries was a positive outcome. He emphasized that safety matters more than hype, and said he was relieved no one absorbed the kind of heavy shots that can carry lasting consequences.
You've known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
Chael Sonnen says the situation simply doesn't hold up under logical scrutiny. In his view, a fighter with just 11 professional bouts should never be standing across the ring from an experienced Olympic medalist. The gap in skill, experience, and ring IQ, he argues, is far too large to overlook. Sonnen also points to the weight difference, which makes the matchup even harder to justify. The more seasoned fighter wasn't just beyond Jake Paul's typical level of competition. He was also naturally heavier. In legitimate, competitive boxing, Sonnen says, athletic commissions and trainers would never allow such a pairing under normal circumstances. To him, the matchup raises serious questions about authenticity and intent. And when a fight ignores basic sporting logic, Sonnen argues, fans are right to question whether what they're watching is truly competitive, or primarily designed for attention and promotion rather than the sport itself.
For Jake, or if I think that Joshua's more experienced or better, I believe I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, you know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you could put the boundaries at the city line. You could put it at the state line. I will track him down. I will put him somewhere and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other things. Well, I'm saying he had to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. Well, I'm saying that Joshua has the right to go, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience and yeah, he was moving and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like for that to be Joshua's mindset.
Joe Rogan points out that Jake Paul has always wanted to prove himself as a legitimate fighter, stepping into the ring, facing real opponents, and showing he can handle genuine competition. Rogan emphasizes that Jake performs best when the challenge is real, not scripted or manufactured. This time, however, the leap is on an entirely different scale. Facing Anthony Joshua represents a level of size, power, and experience Jake has never encountered. Rogan notes that because Jake has never gone up against someone of Joshua's physical presence, it's impossible to truly measure his stamina or predict how he would hold up in a full, high-intensity fight against a seasoned heavyweight. While Jake has demonstrated skill and speed, Rogan stresses that endurance and resilience at the top tier of the heavyweight division remain unanswered questions, leaving fans intrigued, but far from convinced.
We expect Jake Paul to be fighting like higher level competition. It's not because he has under 10 fights. It's because he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking about him.
And that's exactly true. But I think on both sides of the equation, we've got to like admit that a young fighter under 5 fights isn't fighting great competition. So
True.
If you're calling Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and then you're expecting him to do what legitimate boxers do, I'm not sure he's not doing that, and probably more.
That's what I'm saying about the knockout of Tyron Woodley, because it was just a regular boxer who's just coming up. And
Tim Bradley openly criticizes Jake Paul, calling his image as a serious fighter misleading and questioning the level of competition in his bouts. Bradley argues that many of Paul's fights appear orchestrated, with opponents seemingly following a script rather than engaging in true, competitive boxing. He contends that these carefully managed matchups have helped Paul build a record that overstates his actual abilities. Bradley cautions fans not to confuse spectacle with substance, noting that while the events are undeniably entertaining, they don't reflect the real risk, skill, or demands of elite boxing. According to Bradley, this approach does more than inflate expectations. It undermines the integrity of the sport and sends a distorted message to aspiring fighters about what real boxing competition looks like.
But I can't knock you I can't knock your hustle when you've built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of. No, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that, because that's for a lifer.
But that's what he believes.
That's cool. I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff. That's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Daniel Cormier praised Jake Paul for the courage it took to step into the ring with Anthony Joshua, acknowledging the very real risk involved. While Cormier joked that most people would fight anyone for $100 million, he made it clear that money alone doesn't erase the danger of facing a seasoned heavyweight, especially after competing primarily against much lighter opponents. Cormier highlighted Paul's athleticism and skill, pointing to his movement and strategy as key factors in avoiding the worst of Joshua's power. He explained that constant motion, slipping, circling, and dodging, comes at a significant physical cost, draining energy with every exchange. Despite that, Paul managed to last against an elite opponent. Drawing comparisons to wrestling, Cormier emphasized the mental and physical resilience required to keep responding under pressure, likening it to repeatedly having to get back up and re-engage after being driven to the mat. In his view, Paul's performance reflected boldness, adaptability, and commitment. And while controversy continues to follow Paul's career and choice of opponents, Cormier concluded that on this night, he approached the fight and his opponent with genuine respect and undeniable courage.
Thoughts on that? I thought Jake Paul's a brave guy. Then I found out he made $100 million. I was thinking, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but bro, I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City, and I said to him, it was weird too, because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows, and Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, DC. I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job in WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does.
I don't watch WWE, but I know that.
Dude, you're huge. He might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world.
Really?
He's such an athlete, bro.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. But I'm just stroking him right now. I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is.
Okay.
From the moment he started doing it, he was really good.
He can cut a promo, huh? Like, he got what kids say.
He's got a promo, but he's also good in the ring.
Okay.
He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against Anthony Joshua? He's going to fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're going to go fight Anthony Joshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's going to just fight him. I go, man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. And I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury. Right? Couldn't. Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit. And I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand dropped. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move. Jake did a good job of moving around for a long time. But all that moving costs energy. Right?
I mean, I used to spar with the Robert Guerrero here in Gilwood.
Yep.
And I would go in and spar with him. I'd tell people that I would spar with him for his first 4 rounds. He would do 12 rounds.
Yep.
He would use me as his warm-up rounds.
Yep.
And I was in fight shape.
Yep.
I wouldn't go and spar unless I was ready to fight. Like, I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my...
Yeah.
I was ready to fight. And by the 4th round, I was fucking exhausted. And he would just make me miss. You know, if you miss more, it's the right word. It makes you more tired.
Especially when you're throwing big punches like Jake was throwing.
Yeah.
And then wrestling. It's like shooting double legs and shit. Like, all you look like Dylan Davis. Oh, seconds, bro. All that wrestling was crazy, dog. I was like, bro, have you ever in my life seen that much wrestling in a boxing match?
It was Dylan Davis, Logan Paul all over again.
Every time he would fall, you got to get up.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot, you got to get up.
It makes you more tense. It should be more iron off you. It's a worse shot.
I mean, and Anthony Joshua's too.
Eddie Hearn reflected calmly on the clash between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, offering a measured breakdown of how the fight unfolded. He emphasized that the strategy was clear from the start. Stay patient, control the tempo, and gradually wear Paul down before closing the show decisively. According to Hearn, the plan was designed to limit unnecessary risk while still asserting Joshua's dominance in the ring. From his perspective, everything played out as intended, showcasing Joshua's discipline and the effectiveness of a controlled game plan over reckless aggression. That careful execution, Hearn suggested, allowed the fight to remain safe without sacrificing tension, ultimately delivering the drama and excitement fans were looking for. If you love boxing, powerful punches, and real fight breakdowns, make sure to subscribe to VIP Punch. Hit the like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this video with true boxing fans. VIP Punch, where every punch matters.